Welcome to 1725 Mining Economics. Our course is totally online and runs from November 7th to February 7th. Each week's activities begin on Thursday, and final assignments each week are due that following Wednesday. If you have any questions, please contact your instructor, Tracy Runge. Let's spend a few moments introducing the course. Rather than just do a course in economics, Ian Runge has written a book on the economics of mining. While there are some complicated problems and exercises in this text, the purpose of this course is to help you understand the importance of economic decisions in the success of coal mining today in this highly competitive industry. As the slides indicate, in mining management, every technical decision made must consider and be guided by the economic consequences. The text looks at mining economics through two lenses. The first lens assumes the economic environment is neutral. Many economic elements are outside the decision maker's control. Capital has already been sunk or expended. The product selling price and many other factors are taken as given. The second lens focuses on a broader range of issues. It recognizes that whether a mine is performing or not is unlikely to be due to some technical cause alone, though some technical cause may be blamed. Choices are not played out in a vacuum. Instead, they are subject to changes in the world at large over which the decision maker has little control. A new mine development justified on a rising price of coal will yield a return dramatically below expectations if, instead, the price turns out to be falling. The non-strategic approach to economics assumes that whatever one person or one company does will not affect the market as a whole. If you produce an extra ton of coal, it won't affect the world price of coal. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? The strategic view is somewhat different. It acknowledges that the outcome for each participant depends on the choices or the strategies of all the other participants. The extra ton that one mine makes will not affect the world price, but if the changed economic forces that allow this mine to produce an extra ton of coal also apply to its competitors, then surely the competitors will increase output as well. The world price will change. Let's now dive into Chapter 2 and look at the subject of integrating economies or economics into mining. Even small mines are complex business undertakings, and in running these mines, only a small number of decisions warrant the time or cost of a comprehensive economic analysis. This chapter provides general examples of how economic evaluation techniques are applied at various stages of the mine evaluation process. A complete task of planning and operating a mine involves at least three components: a technical component, a narrowly focused economic component, and a more broadly based economic component, including financial and business elements that influence mine performance within industry at large. The technical component concerns mine layout, equipment productivities, alternative production schedules, and mine operating requirements. The latter requirements include, for example, the explosive usage per year, the number of persons required, and the fuel usage per machine per operating hour. Usually this work focuses on technical criteria only. This component of a mine plan will be unchanged whether the project is economical or not. The narrowly focused economic component applies operating and capital costs to the technical schedules. It analyzes alternative schedules and alternative equipment in economic terms, for example, the price per ton. It also builds up and examines unit costs such as the fuel cost per liter, annual fuel cost for the whole mine, and labor cost per person per year. The object of this phase of the work is to allow comparisons of options in economic terms. The more broadly based economic, financial, and business component aims to understand the degree of viability of a plan and how the plan fits within a wider corporate context. This phase also examines the relative risk associated with investment decisions and the sensitivity of the plan to factors outside management control. Mining is an expensive activity, the cost effectiveness of which demands these economic analysis. Mine evaluation is also an expensive activity and demands its own economic analysis. Is another $500,000 expenditure for exploration likely to yield as much increase in shareholder value as a $500,000 expenditure on metallurgical testing? The task of the mine planner is to develop a mine plan that will maximize shareholder value, and one of the components in this process is the cost of and cost savings flowing from the mine planning task itself. The evaluation of every potential mining development starts somewhere. At a minimum, some estimate of how much ore is in the ground must be available, coupled with some estimates of the cost of extracting it. In grassroots exploration, an initial starting point for evaluation is an assumed ore body. Prior to any substantial expenditure, the following question must be asked. If this exploration is successful, what is the best deposit that can be expected? The hypothetical deposit can be described in terms of tonnage, grades, depth, and physical location. Ongoing exploration around some known ore body serves two purposes. First, finding more reserves, and second, understanding existing reserves to ensure greater reliability. Additional reserves usually translate into additional value. Unfortunately, reserves that are simply understood better are not necessarily worth more than reserves that are understood to a lesser degree. Once a potential mining development has been identified, how does technical evaluation proceed in a rational way, accounting for the economics of information as well as the economics of mining? A strategic assessment based on economic criteria is an important element in this rational decision-making process. The difficulty is that, from early on in the evaluation process, some broadly assumed final development scenario defines a path along which new information and new studies are directed. Because information is gathered sequentially, alternatives that might be equally attractive in economic terms may never get to be compared. Another complication can be the people who are doing the evaluating. If they have a bias to certain methods and equipment, then other potentially more economic means and methods may get overlooked. Optimum mine development typically requires a balance between, number one, averaging the good and bad characteristics of a resource to balance equipment utilization and the consistency of mine input, and number two, deliberately selecting more profitable blocks in the early mine life to maximize the advantages of early cash flows. The focus on selecting the more profitable blocks early is to balance the higher profitability of these blocks with the capital costs that are most severe at the start of the mine. Mining operations continually change. Existing equipment becomes less suitable to the task. New equipment is continually developed to move mining quantities more cheaply. Pictured here is a haul truck from West Tech's Flow Control Body holding 447 tons of coal at Peabody's Norm mine. It's the largest capacity haul truck in the world. The evaluation of an overall project is usually undertaken by using discounted cash flow techniques. A technical study initially yields tabulations of the required equipment, personnel, and supplies necessary during each year of pre-production and production to produce a certain amount of mine output. The costs of purchasing and operating the equipment are combined with personnel and other costs to determine the overall cost structure of the mine.